And welcome back to the Apex Legends Open at the Gaming Stadium. Hopefully you're doing well. It's Captain Frank joining Tony, and we are here to present you some more high-octane Apex. Why, of course, and all puns intended with the octane. We're going to go straight to the leaderboard here. I know Just Speak Production, they've been working hard to crunch the numbers and show us where everyone placed after one custom game, one Battle Royale map. What are the standings that we're looking at here, Tony?
Yeah, speaking of Octane, I was moving so fast my camera couldn't keep up right there. I stemmed clearly. I mean, obviously, gold last season, we're talking 19 kill points, 12 placement points, just like in the ALGS settings and scoring, 31 total points coming out. We had them on the screen for a reason. These guys were absolutely going insane. Yeah. Right behind them was Wingman. Okay, I mean, I'm not mad at that. That's a decent amount of kills, 4 kills out of them, 9 placer points at 13 points. I know I talk about my team, the Halo kids, coming out with 5 total points, all from placement. I'm gonna need to really step up their game and try to get some kills out of there, because there's some squads below them, like Sussy Baka, who got 6 kill points but only 2 placement points. That just tells me they had a little bit of bad luck. If a couple of things go their way, if they can keep slaying out 6 kills and then get their placement points up, I can only imagine that they're going to be flying up the leaderboard. That was only game number 1. We still have 5 more games for you guys, a whole lot of Apex. This is the Gaming Stadium, $500 on the line, Apex Open Series, and man, am I excited to be here.
Oh, we both are. We're both getting rolled up just before we get back on camera, because we've got so much to come. We have literally got a Monday night bonanza of Apex Legends for you, so hopefully you're ready to go. You've got the food in the microwave, food in the oven, and we're going to be joining us locked and loaded with a full belly as well. Not too full, though, because there's going to be plenty to fill your appetite as we get into this Monday night madness. $500 on the line, and all the way down to full for a prize pool as well. If you enjoyed things, please feel free to give a follow on the channel. Just give a little follow on the heart, or for either us on the socials. There, have a look and see which way is it. I'll get it right today. I'm not going to get it right. Left and right is there a problem with me. Underneath there for him, underneath there for me as well. But enough about us. We are going to be getting back into the action for this next Battle Royale. We saw a bit of sentinel action, but for sniping action, there really wasn't too much sniping to be happening within that matchup. It was a lot of ARs, a lot of SMGs, a lot of pushes. You said from map number 1, you're a big fan of sort of playing for the slow game, playing for those late gunfights, the really intense, high adrenaline gunfights. Are you one to ever jump in with a sniper rifle and take some pot shots from long distance, or you really are going to have the stop sign up before you go for those late game plays?
I think it's so simple because the pros have created a meta for us. So I feel like, you know, it's really easy just to follow in their footsteps. And I noticed that a lot of the pro teams will combine a long range weapon with a close range weapon. It just makes sense. You know, when you have that long range engagement and you're sitting back with a charged rifle, longbow, even a G7 scout peeking off damage, you're stealing damage with that evil shield. You're upgrading your shields, but you're also creating distance between you and other teams. So if you want to push in, you have that time to do it. But if you feel like that's not an advantageous position for you and you need to rotate towards a hill or even rotate out of a bad gunfight, with that distance that you created with that sniper, you have options where you can early rotate out and get out of a bad situation. So I'm a big fan of the charge rifle. I love having a sentinel if I can't have the charge rifle in my hands. I love creating that distance. And if I need to close the distance, I'm bound to trust me. I'll put a shot into the body ASAP with my EVA 8 purple bolt. I'm ready to fight. But if I need to rotate out, I have that distance and I have time to get out of that situation, to rotate into a better position towards the hill. Like I said, the pros have created this meta for us already, so it almost seems silly for us not to follow in their footsteps and not to try to recreate it. But like you said, ARs, SMGs like that Volt and that R99, and those are going to be key when it comes to the late game. When the circle gets small and you need to put in that work, that's key. You need to master your mechanics and make sure that your movement is on point and that you're able to put down damage, which obviously Alpha and the boys showed that they can do. If you guys love mechanics, I'm sure my friends from the fighting game community, Super Smash Brothers, Street Fighter, I know you guys love your mechanics. You guys have all those button combos that I could never keep up up with. If you guys like fighting games, Pinnacle, 30K in prize pools on the line in games such as Guilty Gear, Smash Ultimate, Street Fighter. If you're the master mechanics and you know your button combos, make sure you check out Pinnacle. 30K in prize pools.
It is coming up real soon. It really, really is. Please make sure that you get all the info for that. Do not miss out. Real soon. Straight to the action, though. We will go. And we're dropping in hot. Are they going to be hot off the rip, though? Who's going to have that strong mechanical skill that you're talking about? The high inputs, the fast button clicks. No time for grandpa plays in this game.
Yeah, definitely not. You definitely want to make sure if you're willing to challenge in the 50-50 and come in hot like this team Onion Zone is, you want to make sure that you're mastering your mechanics and you win those 50-50s. Like I said, I don't like getting into them. Maybe my shot isn't good enough, and I need to upgrade my status here. But hey, if you're about it, I love what this guy's. I love what our Bloodhound player here, Violent, is doing. He grabs himself a flatline. He grabs himself an Eva. That tells me that he wants to get into that close-range gunfight. The flatline, I said it before, the hip fire on it is incredible, as Blight is showing us exactly that, only having white shields but not afraid to fight. Gold last season, Alpha tries to sneak in some cheap shots but is forced to back down, and now we're seeing Gold last season on their back foot for the first time as Bloodhound goes down, leaving our Octane player, our Gibby player by himself, with Eva shots going in, putting the shot into the body, and that's going to be a 2v3 win coming out of Gold last season. Their armor swapping quick, the res is coming in. Gold last season survived that engagement despite losing their informational player in Bloodhound.
And that was such a quick engagement. It could have gone wrong so quickly. To go back to your point mentioned earlier, those 50-50s, it might not be the 50 that go towards you. You might be losing that. And it isn't down to skill. It just comes down to maybe a situational awareness factor. It isn't always just your aim. It's the rest of the whole package. And the whole package is being delivered right now, as we've seen from Gold last season. Can any other team match the level of energy and performance and mechanical skill that they put in game number one?
You know, it's funny because when I saw Gold last season, I mean, they had 31 points, and the second place team right behind them only had 19. I thought maybe they would change up their strategy here for game number two and slow things down and maybe not afford to fight the 50-50s and maybe make a mistake. But clearly they landed hot. I mean, this is Fragment. If you want to get in some engagement on this map, it's gonna be right here in Fragment, as we're on board here with Simon Money Crew rocking the Caustic. I talked about it before. Caustic's value goes up as the circle gets small, and we're seeing our first iteration involving Watson. We obviously rate great player, get in and out of a bad situation. The portal plays are absolutely incredible. Octane's jump pad is valuable to get in and out of a bad situation as well. And Watson adds a whole nother layer to your gameplay. I'm interested to see what exactly they do with Watson as the game goes on. But back over to Onion Zone, where Violent was able to get himself some purple shields. Our Gibby player has blue. It looks like they're ready to fight. I mean, hey, blue and purple, and now even our Gibby player getting blue as well. So Onion Zone, they get into an engagement. Clearly, they have the shield to fight a team off.
Blue and purple, ready to murk them all. Get ready, locked and loaded. It isn't just about your weapons in Apex, and that's something to remember. It is about your shield. You've got to get the level ups. You've got to be constantly hungry for that next portion, that next step up in the ladder, and then you could be stronger, better, faster than your opponent as you get down to business. Get down to business are not too many teams right now. A lot of spotting. A lot of staring into the distance, but not too many gunfights right now.
And this was a squad that I wanted to keep my eyes on, the squad that we had before it. At some point in time, I want to get our eyes back on them. It was Sussy Bake. That was a squad that actually had 6 kill points, but only were able to get 2 placement points. So clearly they have the gun skill to win their 50-50s to get into engagement. But now I'm wondering if at some point in time they can maybe slow things down and get some good placement points in combination with their kill points. Because I promise you, they're not going to sit at that bottom half of the left screen for long if they're able to win their gunfights. And Gold last season has no problem getting both kill points and placement points because they won game number 1 and already have a decent amount of damage. Alpha only having 9 damage for the screen, I guess for the team, and somehow they were still able to win that gunfight and to get those 3 KP charge rifle in the hands of Blight at the moment. He only needs 32 damage away from getting purple. What are you going to do with my charge rifle? I need to know, Blight. Show me something nice.
Hit it home. Go for the home. Go on. It's going to take something special, though. Nothing really available at this time. Gets the binoculars out. Has a little vision inquiry, but nothing to be seen. Let's talk about this, though. Let's talk about the god spot that we're seeing on our screen right now from DRM.
And I'm going to be honest with you. This is probably one of the strangest compositions that I've seen. That composition before, not gold last season. We're getting to an engagement right now. They actually had a Mirage and a Crypto. I love Crypto. The amount of information that you get with Crypto is absolutely amazing. Gold season has some information as well with Bloodhound as they're closing the gap between this other team. Charge rifle shots are coming in from across the map. Pings are coming in, and Gibby getting right behind enemy lines, putting down the damage, and just like that, Gold last season have a new kill leader. It's going to be our Gibby player once again. 14 squads remaining. They're coming for the big money. That's $500 on the line. If you're not on your P's and Q's right now, I don't know when you're going to be. This ain't ranked. This is $500 Apex Open Series.
Cash, money. It is indeed. It is indeed. And these gamers, they're not messing around, man. They are so not messing around. Maybe using the PSA to the rest of the lobby. Wouldn't that be cool if you could get all the all talk on and say, hey guys, are you ready to game, or are we just warming up here? None of that available though. Only in your own team comms. Under some fire will be sussy.
Great job for our Gibby player by avoiding damage. He ended up getting clipped right there, but he ends up sliding out, getting a couple cells in, and now he's an advanced forward towards his teammates who are already pushing on that team for what it looks like. We have a Bloodhound, Octane, and Gibby composition. So this is the composition that we've seen a lot of professional teams use. Even TSM used this for quite some time before experimenting here in our next season where they've actually added a Wraith and a Seer to the comp. So Gibby's ready to fight. Ultimate is ready. That bombardment can come in and put in max amount of damage, but you have to be strategic with it, and you have to launch it at the right time. Same with Gibby's bubbles. Gibby is not an easy character to play. He's definitely a player that you have to grind with, get that skill, because one bad bubble, one bad ult, and now you're not getting the max amount of value that Gibby affords you, and you're just a big target. As Protectful obviously knows how to use it for gold last season. He's been our kill leader, like 15 times going through the entirety of game number 1, and even the kill leader now as Blight's putting in the shots with the flatline, absolutely ripping that player. Alpha getting up close and personal. The scan has already been burnt, and looks like that entire team might have gone down. One might be running away where Octane is on the prowl, and yes, he is, and he's not getting much anywhere. 19 damage on him. He has purple shields. Can they hunt him down? No jump pad to fly on him, but the charge rifle is putting in the damage from across the map. Countdown is hot, which usually is. This is a hot drop when you're going for World's Edge.
It is. Living on the edge they will be. Trying to do something special. Octane just getting fuel, getting juiced, and just trying to catch up to the crew here.
Charge rifle and flatlines doing the hands of Blight at the moment as they are pinging dramatically. 69 damage. There goes the flesh, and that player isn't going to be able to go much anywhere. I'm surprised he's even able to stay alive for this long. It's our Bloodhound trying to rat out, trying to get some shields, but he's in the storm. Where are you going to go, Bloodhound? This is not looking good, and it looks like gold last season has no problem hunting them down despite going into the hill, taking some damage here. My gosh, gold last season really working for that kill, but it looks like they're going to give up on that one. I'm not sure if they're able to get that. He might have, Bloodhound might have gotten away with his life, and yes, he is. Here he is on screen, making his way through the hill and even to the other side with his life. Bloodhound, you go.
That's legendary. That's Apex legendary right there. And I'm talking of just evasion.
We're still going.
It's not always about the gunfights, is it?
And look at that. Gold last season, I thought they would have gave up and rotated back into Countdown, but they actually are they're on the prowl. And Sussy Bake were able to get a big kill on the player that they were hunting down. So now Gold last season end up losing their Bloodhound player, maybe getting a little too thirsty here. And Gold last season now in a not advantageous position because the player that they were hunting down ended up getting taken out by Sussy Bake. And now they've just lost their Bloodhound player. Alpha goes down, so Simon Money's crew clearly know what they're doing. They slay out right there. Beautiful plays across the board. That's 2 down, so there might be 1 more player that they're looking to hunt down. 12 squads remaining, and they finally find them, make that 11 squads, because that was the final player. Caustic putting in the work, gold shields in hand, and clearly he knows what to do with it.
He knows exactly what to do. You talk to Gibraltar. I think the same for Caustic in that sense. We'll come back to that though. Going right down to business. The R99 just spraying and praying. Giving everything with that SMG. And still on top. He's gold last season.
I mean, I highly doubt that they were gold last season, as their namesake is. There's no way, because these guys have to be masters and predator players, especially the way they're ripping apart the lobby. You notice that before we got off of gold last season's point of view, that they were able to recover their Bloodhounds banner. So hopefully they can find a respawn or create a mobile respawn and get them back onto the map, because they're going to need it if they want to pull off another win. Getting back to back is really tough, especially if you don't have all 3 players alive. So we're on board with our team that's rocking a Horizon composition and Fuse. I was casting a tournament that involved a Liquid, and Liquid ended up winning, and they implemented Fuse into the composition after the buff that Fuse received going into the second half of Season 10. I had no clue how viable Fuse was, but they gave him the double knuckle cluster. They gave him the terrible accent right there, but they gave him the double knuckle cluster, and he's able to put it in work, and even his ult does damage. So if you're a fan of explosives, and which are highly underrated in Apex, in my opinion, coming from Call of Duty and Halo, you're going to want to play a composition involving Fuse, because he can double up on those compartments and carry more nades than any other legend, and also is tactical, and his ultimate also involve explosives and putting in as much damage as possible via projectile explosions.
I think he's like a Bangalore plus some. You know what I mean? Bangalore really sort of that establishing role. You've used some util. You've got the explosion of your airstrike as well, and sending all those bombs down. But Fuse definitely, he's an Aussie, isn't he? I believe he's Australian. Double cluster. That's awful. It sounds like a chimney sweep. But we'll save accents for the next broadcast. We'll get back to the action though. Sentinel trying to do work here.
That they are motorcycle riders, currently rocking a Valkyrie Watson and Kibby composition, rocking the Sentinel. I'm a big fan. If I can't get my hands on a charge rifle, I love the Sentinel, because for me it's easier to aim than the longbow, and when it hits, it hits hard. And we're on board with Chad Giggs, who it looks like they've changed their strategy up dramatically. They're perfectly comfortable with ratting it out as long as possible. The problem is they don't have any upgraded shield at the moment. They're still sitting on Grey. Bloodhound actually gets ripped. Bangalore doesn't stand a chance, and now Wraith is by herself, and that's just not good, especially when you're going up against the likes of Gold last season, our Game 1 champions, who are fully loaded. Protectful ends up going down. That was our Gibby player. Might have been playing a little bit hyper aggressive there, but it doesn't matter, because the revive is coming in, and Gold last season coming out on top again. And this is looking like pubs for these guys. Blight is the kill leader, and he has 8 kills, 1,610 damage. I don't know if this is a $500 tournament or if this is pubs, because those are pubs type numbers, if you ask me.
Pub like numbers, but elite like performance. They're playing like this is the Masters. They're playing like something like it's the Global Series. Like what are they doing?
I'm sorry. Normally, when you're watching the big money $5 million ALGS, if you don't know now, you know events.ea.com/ALGS if you want to compete for the $5 million prize pool. But normally, you're watching prize pool tournaments like that, the gameplay is a lot slower. You're not seeing nobody coming out with 8 kills. It's just not heard of. But somehow Gold last season are doing it, and it looks like there's a team that wants to put an end to the reign of terror, if you will, and that Simon Money crew that we're on right now, rocking that Caustic. We talked about it earlier. His value goes up as the circle gets smaller. I love Octane, that jump pad, getting you into a good situation if you crack a team and you want to get the finish, or getting you out of that bad situation. I love the versatility out of this squad right now with combining Caustic and Octane. What I'm not loving is our Wraith player that we saw before, currently by herself, white shield. We just saw it, and we took a look at the map right there where the hill was going. Things are not looking good for her. We're gonna find out if J278 can get into the hill as they're fighting between a rock and a hard place, and that hard place is the Storm.
Oh, this Storm's so aggressive, and if you don't know, the damage gets more and faster as it gets going, and it's nice and warmed up now. Definitely above a simmer. He's got to boiling point, and the heat is going to be felt by 2 players over on J27B.
Well, I mean, I called it a rock and a hard place. The last thing you want to do is get into a fight with a boulder, which J278 clearly did, as they had 2 players go down. I'm not sure what happened to that 3rd player, but Onion Zone getting into an engagement of their own, collapsing into the building. L-Star in the hands of our Octane player trying to get up and at him. Those stairs it seems like they're endless here. And a Gibby ult coming in. I'm not sure if it was Onion Zones or the enemies. Looks like, and then there's tracks outside of the building, so that team might have been able to get away. And there it is. Actually, no, he is right below them, and our Bloodhound ends up getting clipped. I had no idea where they were. L-Star's coming, and the damage goes in for the punches, and my gosh, Onion Zone are on top right now in a 3v2 situation against Gold last season. Our Game 1 winners who lose 2 of their players, leaving Protectful by themselves. R99 in the hands of Protectful ends up ripping that player, but there's a second one coming out. It's Gibby on Gibby Crime, which is not looking good. He had red shields. Our Gibby player had no shield, and Gold last season go down. There's no way they're gonna come on top of this back-to-back. Even Onion Zone weren't able to stay alive. It's an absolute massacre in this building. It was almost like a cake with all of the layers, and it ends up with only 1 team on top, or I don't even know anybody on top, because we're on board with Simon Money Crew right now, who's currently playing the edge of circle, which is probably the safest place they can be for those placement points. They already have a little bit of KP. Things are much slower on this side of things than it was over in, I do believe there was Fragment that we were in.
It's a bit of a pineapple upside down cake though, right? From last game. If you're seeing Gold last season out, we're not even in the top 5 yet. The placement points, they're going to differ. It's going to be a slightly different game. And this is the kind of flavor that you want to see early in a tournament. And right now, for the Apex Open Series, or TGS, things are just starting to heat up. And who's going to take this one?
And I talked about earlier of how this composition was going to play. And I said I wanted to see if they made it into the long game. And clearly they did with 6 squads made. It was Watson, Octane, and Rake. They weren't playing any Intel characters. It was really interesting. But with us, we're on board NFG. We're getting some interesting things as well, as that Thermite is getting maximum amount of value, but they've already lost their Horizon player. So it's Fuse and Valkyrie, who might potentially be in a 2v3, maybe a 2v2 situation. And just waiting for the collapse to come in, as Thermites are all over the place. It's against Towa, Maji, Tenshi, who have 3 players alive. Gibby, Bloodhound, and Octane just waiting to shield up and collapse together, but they're taking heavy damage, both from explosive and shots. The feeling in with the knuckle clusters. Horizon is still down, no chance to get the revive off. Valkyrie has lost all of her shield and most of her life, and Valkyrie goes down as well, leaving Fuse by himself. There's no way he's gonna be able to survive this. Only a matter of time. I mean, 1v3s are nice, but they don't happen in tournaments like this. It's only a matter of time before they're able to come in and take down our Fuse player, as the Thirst come in from NFG.
He's going to plate up, though. He's going to get those armor shields up and at him. Does make things a glass half full just for a little bit, but you've got to be honest, yeah. It's looking inevitably like it's going to be over.
It's actually 3 teams, actually. So Fuse was by himself, but he was ratting it out, waiting for the 2 teams to fight it out. And it looks like Simon Money Crew just wants to get out of Dodge right there. He wants no part of it. And look at this pineapple upside down cake, as you said before. The layers of battles coming in. And it looks like our TTV squads are starting to win it. There's motorcycle riders who are punching out the composition, looking like Mike Tyson in their prime. And somehow, throughout all the chaos, motorcycle riders come out on top. 4 squads remaining. Can they make it all the way? I mean, hey, Gold last season, not in the lobby right now, so it's, in my opinion, it is anybody's game. I think it was Wingman Associates who were second place with 19 points, I think, and we're on board with them right now. They have the most to gain with Gold last season off of the map. I need to see them get a little bit more KP, and I need to see them come out with the win if they want to have any chance of catching up to Gold last season.
They need to max out their placement bonus. 2000% here they do. We've got a nice portal set up. Love to see that from a Wraith. Give him the mobility. Give him that dynamic play. Gonna see some epic sniping coming in as well. One tap wonder.
145 across the map with a Kraber, and he's putting in more shots. Our Wraith player is that normally with Wraith players, you have a player that wants to slide in, get into the action, then queue out when things get bad. But looks like she's doing pretty good with that Kraber in hand as we're down to 3 squads. It's the nitty gritty. No time to make any mistakes. Motorcycle, some riders are coming in. Only 2 squads after that. They killed the rat. It might just be a 3v3 between motorcycle riders and Wingman Associates as the shots are coming in. I see the Watson ult in, trying to get the extra shields. The bodies are dropping all over the place. It's Sama Khan coming in, and nope, Sama Khan ends up going down here. Texaclone trying to win this battle, playing on the shields. It might just be a 1v1, and that's gonna be it. Motorcycle riders end up coming out on top. That was a 1v1 that we saw in the beautiful third person brought to you by the Gaming Stadium, and we saw literally all of the action, and somehow motorcycle riders come out as your victors. And let me tell you, they're gonna slide up the rankings here. It's them, Wingman Associates, and Gold last season will probably be fighting for the top 3 spots. And the way that ended up, I don't know who's on top. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no clues on top.
Whoa. We'll have to find out to get that information to you, but I can tell you something. Those motorcycles, they're nicely tuned. They're a good performance coming through. And early on in map number 2, to have that top tier team, to have that team that were clearly not gold last season, get dethroned somewhat, it's a good vibe because it says the playing field, it's being evened out a bit. There's some no man's land in the middle, and these players, they're approaching that to see what they can get done going into map number 3. Love it when a plan comes together, and love to see an even game as we get into the thick of things. Before we do go anywhere to get you back to those leaderboards to see what's going on, would like to give a big thanks to Monster Cat as well, and that's the victory music that I'm sure those motorcycle enthusiasts will be raving and thinking about right now. $5 per month gets you the gold of Monster Cat Gold, and you can get non-DMCA offenses coming your way, and a wide variety and selection of music will be in that repertoire as well. So if you're looking to make content, you're looking for your Twitch feed to have some funky music, this might be the ticket, so make sure you check that out as well.